late summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you see?
It was a very clear night, and we left my home. My husband and I, we had just split up a few months before that, and so we lived rurally. We had 2.5 acres in Manila, and we have behind our house, it's dunes and then the ocean. So it's very rural, and there's more. So my friend picked me up for a date, and we were in his old pickup, and we drove north on the road, and it's just a rural road, and it goes up onto a hill. And at that time, there were no homes up on this hill. And it was the place I used to take my horse out to the beach. Well, I said, what is that? Looks like a helicopter. When we left my driveway, and he kept going, and he goes, yeah, and he was about 40 years old. He was a lot older than me. And he goes, my God. I said, it's UFOs. We could throw a rock and hit them. We stopped the truck and we just sat there. And I would say they were there for maybe 5 to 10 seconds. And then and there was no noise. And that's one thing everybody always says, no noise. But the only difference is these weren't, how can I say it? They weren't huge. They were too small. They were about, I would say, maybe, 4 feet wide, 4 or 5 feet wide, and maybe double that tall. And their shape was, picture a Box-Kite. You know how Box-Kite has material on the top and the bottom, and in the middle there's nothing?
Right.
Well, in the middle part, it was shiny, really shiny, both of them, and they both looked exactly alike. One was a little higher than the other, and they were just hovering there. They had all different color of lights on the top, the bottom, and I think red, just primary colors, and there was no noise. We didn't get out because I was scared to get out. It was like 3-4 feet in front of us, and nobody had seen anything this close.
Were they by the road in front of you and you were driving?
Over the road. They were hovering over the road, and we had to stop. Otherwise, we would have hit them.
Really?
Yeah. They were like maybe, the one was about a foot over the road, and the other was about 3 feet over the road. And they were right next to each other. Yeah. They were right on them. And they were gray, this beautiful, soft gray. But the windows were shiny black.
They had windows?
And I'm an artist, and pardon me?
They had windows?
The windows, you couldn't see through. They were black, but shiny. They were precisely built.
How did they leave?
They just zoomed. They just went zoom over the bay. And we were on the hill, we were looking at them over the bay, and we followed them. They went down the bay, and then we lost them because we kept driving. We drove over the bridge. That's about a mile over the bridge, and went down into Old Town on First Street and drove and watched them going down, and then they disappeared. And I think I called a radio channel, and I was so excited. I told them what I saw, and nobody else saw them.